Shazam!
He is the first superhero to transform, preceding your Miraculous Ladybug, Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Sailor Moon, and many others. He is the first superhero to have a family, preceding your Superfamily with Superman and Batfamily with Batman. He is one of 4 superheroes who has gained the power of light, preceding Superman. He is the first superhero whose name was stolen by someone who besmirches the name in a different universe, at least nowadays. He is the original Captain Marvel. He's now commonly known as Shazam, which, for transparency's sake, I'm not a fan of. And now you're watching Did It Suck? Today we're looking at Captain Marvel's newest movie, Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
I'm an idiot.
It's showtime!
I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow!
Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a movie that speaks a lot about found family and holding on. Shazam! Fury of the Gods speaks about letting go and moving on. Overall, the movie was really great. It had a few hiccups, but nothing context could fix. Personally, I'm giving this movie a 9.3 out of 10 because some sequences really feel tacked on, and as someone who went in blind, I did not like that one cameo. That was reportedly spoiled, but their appearance in the movie I feel like wasn't needed. No, I take it back. Their appearance was warranted. However, their interaction with Captain Marvel feels a bit tacked on. And yes, I will be calling Billy's heroic persona, Levi's character, Captain Marvel. And Freddy will either be called CM3, Junior, or simply Freddy. Let's get to the negatives first, and there are a few of them. Aside from the aforementioned interaction with that cameo character, another thing that feels tacked on was the love story. I feel like we did not need that love story just to portray the betrayal that Freddy felt because of one character. Even then, I feel like the act of betrayal was forgiven quickly enough. Kudos to the actors involved. They delivered a convincing and heartfelt one. I just didn't buy into the narrative that they're selling. The events of the first movie might have been a factor. I just don't really buy Freddy forgiving the traitor very quickly. Another is a missed opportunity. I feel like it's a missed opportunity for Freddy not to recite some made-up spells like Abracadabra in that one scene, or even Alakazam. That way I could buy that the character opposite him was really annoyed. That character acted more like an overgrown teenager than an adult, not gonna lie. And that is definitely the script's fault. This one's a bit nitpicky, but the way they dumped Billy down was a letdown, making him mispronounce Solomon's name and pointing out that the wisdom of Solomon is MIA from his power set when Billy, for all intents and purposes, is supposed to be street smart, especially in the first film. And how the wisdom of Solomon traditionally operates is a lot different in the comics. Another nitpick is the Skittles commercial in the film. I just don't buy the claim that the closest thing to ambrosia, the nectar of the gods on earth, are the products made by Skittles. Now this one is extremely nitpicky. I really loved the first film because they did not give the family, especially Billy, an official superhero name. But they made it official here and I was sorely disappointed. Nothing I can do. However, I will still call the family as the Marvel family because Shazamily is dumb and Billy's hero name as Captain Marvel. Now for the positives. For starters, the acting. Everyone, especially the younger cast, really grew as actors. It's not that noticeable for Asher Angel or Jack Dylan Grazer, who's been in the mainstream media before, but all of them really grew. The whole cast was able to deliver a convincing story, and the interactions between characters, minus the powers and whatnot, could very well happen in real life, like how everyone seems to miss their cutes. Freddy's and Ant's struggles with helicopter parenting were very convincing, even if we know who or what really is the cause of the helicopter parenting style. Shazam! Fury of the Gods really feels like a continuation of the first movie. A lot of movies only gloss over past movies' plots with brand new set pieces and plot details. Sometimes the sequels even retcon some of the previous movies' rules. The Rock of Eternity, the supposed lair, is a good example of this. The Rock of Eternity in the previous movie was previously inaccessible to everyone until they all found a way to access it thanks to Dr. Sivana. In this movie, they can access the Rock of Eternity anytime they want, from anywhere they want, even in the most inconvenient of places. As long as there is a door, they can open. This is the most the Rock of Eternity has been utilized in any of Captain Marvel's appearances in various media, aside from being attacked by villains. A detail I really appreciated in the Rock of Eternity is how it is apparent that the teenagers were the ones decorating it from the TV to everything. Another detail that is greatly expanded upon in this movie is the staff. It has a lot of relevance in the overall plot of the Shazam movie franchise because of this movie. The point is, the rules and details from the previous film were expanded upon in this movie and none of them were retconned. The stakes of this film are also higher than the first movie. In context, the stakes of the first movie only affected Billy and his foster family. Sure, Dr. Sivana has done a lot of things that promptly put him in the villain category despite his backstory, but it doesn't change the fact that the impact of the first film only affected Billy and his foster family. This movie elevates the stakes and I love how it went from global to multi-dimensional like the first movie where the stakes went from personal to citywide in the progression. Unlike other movies whose stakes were personal and citywide at the same time, and in the next film it's immediately global and universal at the same time. This movie has that feeling of making a number of movies stuffed into one that a lot of people cite as a critique of a lot of films. What makes Shazam! Fury of the Gods different is how the plot points link to each other. While those other movies feel like the different plot points have a flimsy connection to the overarching plot of the movie at best. In turn, the storytelling felt really organic. You can really feel that the story they crafted has a sense of cohesion and every plot detail connects to another plot detail even from the first movie. While the Avengers Society movies is just a climax of a multi-chaptered novel with no sense of character development, if there was, it's a bit rushed and tacked on. The same can be said for the League of Justice movies. The difference here is that one is overrated and while the other is overhated when the meat of the franchise's movies are the same. Barely have any connection to any of their past films, while Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods is very connected to its first film. Another great thing about this movie is the action sequences, from the bridge sequence to the fight against the goddesses to the fight against a dragon. All of those fights were incredible. Those were perfect! The character writing for every character, barring one, maybe two, is also on point. You could really see the character consistency between characters between the first and the second films. You could also see some changes in their character that feel natural to them being in the same home for 2 years. You could also believe that you are seeing a film with teens as the stars. With the bad and good points, I'm giving the second Shazam movie, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, an 8.7 out of 10. Now we get to the spoiler parts. The cameo character I was talking about was Wonder Woman. I felt like her scenes were tacked on. Billy did not have to dream about her. She could still have appeared at the very last part and just praised Billy for a job well done. And the use the power of Zeus well bit. They really did not need to tack on the crush. The character, who I thought was an overgrown teenager, was, funnily enough, the Wizard. His annoyance at Freddy feels like a teenager who did not like to explore his feelings, yet rather than an adult who can communicate his disdain for the teenage shenanigans he's witnessing with Freddy and Anthea. Now, for what bumped Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods from an 8.7 to a 9.3 was the Easter egg I spotted. Billy Batson's actor in the 1970s Shazam TV series, Michael Gray, called him Captain Marvel. He was wearing the entire Billy Batson outfit in the comics and in the aforementioned TV series. That Easter egg bumped this movie up with 0.6 points to 9.3, making the final grade of this movie a 9.3 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie, so this movie did not suck. That's all I have for you today, folks. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao!